Well, we're here at Madras Rugby Club for the Tartan Touch night. All the boys have been across clubs around Scotland. I've had the privilege to come back here to my hometown club, where my rugby journey started. So yeah, it's quite nice to be back. Not been here for a long time, so yeah, I'm just kind of reminiscing about what it used to be like for me. It's definitely not changed much, which is quite nice. The change rooms are in there, round here to the pitches.
I was about that, yeah, I was down with Mike and David.
My name's Jamie Ritchie. We play for Scotland. We're privileged to be training in preparation for the World Cup at the moment. I started playing rugby right here, so really nice to be back. It's just a bit of a full circle moment, to be honest. It's been quite a special evening. I can't remember being here as a kid and meeting Scotland players and kind of dreaming of being in their position, and like it's quite nice to kind of not realise that dream, but to kind of be that inspiration for them, I guess. It's not something that I ever thought I would do, so yeah, it's quite a special moment. But yeah, so this is Station Park, where it all started for me. Probably up the top end when you were younger, so primary fours I was kind of trained up the top end, and then you move your way down as you get older, and then yeah, played a few games on the main pitch when I was like under 15s and stuff like that, but yeah, and then I moved on. But it's a pretty special place for me.
Talk to me about when the Scotland team came. Who were your heroes then? What was that experience
Yeah, so
like?
my kind of first memory of meeting Scotland players was right here, probably 2006. Who would have been in that team? Guys like Al Dickinson, Ross Ford, Jason White. That was the year that I first went to the Six Nations as well, and that year we beat France and England at home, which was pretty special to kind of be at them for my first games, and yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool to kind of be back here and have those memories kind of flood back. And I've got a picture of me sitting with some of the Scotland players and that I remember when I first joined Edinburgh, showing to Dicko and reminding him of how much older he is than me, which he didn't really appreciate. But yeah, it's quite cool to be back here, and maybe you never know, in a few years' time one of these kids might have a picture like that for me. So
How special has it been back here as captain? This is the first time you've sort of been back here as leader. All the kids were desperate to meet you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put into words about how it kind of gives you a realization of how far you've come in your career. And for me, it wasn't something that I ever thought about doing when I was a kid. I didn't think about being captain of Scotland. I just dreamt about playing for Scotland, and that's something that I'm really proud to have done. But to have the opportunity to kind of lead my country in a Six Nations and in an autumn series and in test matches is something that I'm super proud of. And yeah, to kind of come here and for the kids to be appreciative of that is, yeah, it's great.
Well, who's Lily? Lily, there you are.
First, probably yeah, the best memory I have of being in here was the first ever rugby dinner I went to was in here, and that's actually the first time I met Doddy.
Oh wow!
Which was in here, which was pretty cool. So he came and spoke at a rugby dinner here. Me and my friend who I played Scotland under 16s with, we were two of the people both from the club. We played Scotland under 16s together, and we got invited along to the dinner because we'd represented Scotland. And yeah, Doddy spoke at the dinner, and it was the first time I met him. And it's kind of one of those ones that sticks with me. I remember standing at the front and called me and my pal John up to the front. He's like, oh, because we'd obviously played for Scotland that year, and he congratulated, and that was my first memory of getting to meet him.
That's another example of going full circle as well, given that special moment that you had with him at Murrayfield.
Yeah, yeah. That's when you put it like that. It's something that kind of makes you feel a little bit emotional. Yeah.
What's your favourite game of all time?
Favourite game?
Oh, you've played.
I've played. We played here when I was under 15s. We played against Dundee Eagles, and we absolutely pumped them. That was probably one of my favourites. Scored a try in that corner.
Yeah.
Probably the best try I've ever scored in my life. Not scored many now, so. Nah, best game I've ever played. Favourite game I've ever played in was probably the England game of the Six Nations this year.
Yeah. Okay.
When we beat them down at Twickenham.
How much did you enjoy like starting out playing rugby? Like, what were the kind of key things that you enjoyed most about coming down here? Did you have a lot of mates? Like, would all your mates, would they all come down here? Or not?
Yeah, like I was really lucky. So the primary school I went to, just not far from here, was a primary school called Lawhead, and I had a really good year group that year of like a good bunch of mates who a lot of us came down here and started rugby all at the same time and kind of came up through together. So yeah, my predominant memories of that are just spending time with mates and kind of learning to enjoy the game. And my old man was our coach, and I remember like travelling down on Saturday morning or Sunday mornings with him and things like that. So those are the kind of things that spring to mind, and then it kind of developed as we got older.
We talk so much about connection as a group, and tonight all the players have obviously been across the country. How nice was it to connect to the fans tonight? Yeah,
really special. I think personally, like coming back to a place like this where it feels like home and everyone's so welcoming and they kind of know that you're a local lad, that it's been a really nice thing for me. And it's so important because like the crowd during games, especially games at Murrayfield, are huge for us. Like they're such a massive power, and they drive our performance a lot of the time, and we really appreciate the support they give us. So being able to have evenings like this and come and show that appreciation that we have for them it's really good.
The walls are looking a bit bare in here. Are you going to get a jersey up here? You need to get a...
At some point, yeah, I'll probably need to give them a jersey. I think Rob Dews is up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not loads of Scotland reps. There's a few names up on the boards that I'll remember. My childminder's husband, Terry, he'll be up there somewhere. He's a long-standing member of the club. But yeah, it's pretty strange being back, to be honest. It's been a long time.
When was the last time you were back?
Probably for that 21st.
And the last time you played out there?
The last time I played out there, we probably in a sevens tournament. Maybe when I was about 15, 16, played sevens for Madras that day. I played against George. George was playing for the How. So.
And you kind of moved about quite a bit. This is the last question, but how proud are you of your roots and coming back here? Yeah,
super proud. Whenever anyone asks me like where are you from, like this is where I say I'm from St Andrews, and this is the local rugby club. And then whenever someone says where did you start at rugby, I say Madras. I played for the Madras schools as a mini rugby player, and super proud to have been from here.
If you enjoyed this video,
be sure to like, comment and subscribe for more from the world of Scottish rugby.